Hey guys, my name is Russian Badger, and I think I got a little carried away. So I just finished basically all of the stressful things in my week. I basically finished all my major tasks before I go off for Thanksgiving break on Friday. And I decided to celebrate. And you know how we all have that threshold? It's like, okay, you know what, bro? You can stop now. I think you should stop doing this. And I had way too much, okay? There comes a point where you just have to say, you know what? Put it down. Just stop doing that. And I think it's something that happens to everyone in university eventually, and they just get irresponsible because they're just having too much. And really, just now, I had way too many chicken nuggets, okay? It got ridiculous. And why are you facing the wrong way, TD Desperado? Face the right way, please. But I had so many chicken nuggets. Like, there was this large tray in the dining hall, and they really don't make a whole lot when a lot of kids leave and fly out of the state because they're all rich that go to my university. So once kids start leaving campus, they don't make as much quantity in food, and I basically polished off all the chicken nuggets. Like, you could tell the look on the guy's face was just, save some chicken nuggets for someone else, because it was so many. And there was a point where I said to myself, you know what, I should stop. It was at like the 30th or 40th chicken nugget, and I was like, you know what, I need to stop now. But then once I got past that threshold, I was like, I've gone too far. I have to finish. And it was so many chicken nuggets. And it was also at the point where, you know, the point where you start eating so quickly that it literally starts to sound like nom 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 nom. Like, it's not even part of the nom 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 theme. It's more so you're eating so quickly that it just happens to be like that. And so, end of cool story, bro. So that's the end of that. I know I have one of those every time, but that's the cool story, bro. And what I love doing here is I love going hard in the paint, because there's nothing that I love better on Delmavon Peak than having the ability to look directly down. One more gentleman there. Attic Tadpole. Very nice. And you see, this is sort of cheap. I feel sort of bad doing this, but at the same time, it helps your team so much, because if I can see directly down into your spawn from an elevated position, that's... I don't want to bang dice anymore. Like, I don't want to say it's poor map design, but that's poor map design. Like, when I'm back in the spawn and I'm getting shot by somebody in an elevated position, I didn't get this guy, but if I have the ability to go to the second floor of that building and look directly into the spawn, I can basically sever the enemy team's spawn from any other part of the map. It's just, this position right here is so deadly. And when I'm back, when I'm on the opposing side, so when I'm on the defending side, perhaps, and I'm having the same thing done against me, for example, so if I was on the defending team and I was continuously trying to get out of the spawn and I kept getting shot from an elevated position that I could see down into the spawn, like I was just saying, it's so frustrating. It's like, call me Taylor Swift and give me a country music award. This is really annoying. And another thing that I want to identify is spawn camping. Okay, so I don't mean spawn camping like I just was in terms of spawn camping, like, oh, I'm spawn camping the defender's spawn. I'm talking about lingering after you take a base. So I really want to decipher what is appropriate and what is not, but I want to show you how lethal it is. Okay, so they've obviously taken our base. I should fall back here, but I decided not to. I said, why not become a rock monster? There's one. I get Patois. I get Jenny time, and I'm not going to get this guy with an RPG, despite the fact that I love the RPG, and two more little ducklings are going to come along here. There's one, and there's two. Like, this basically just shows the lethality of sticking around and finding some place to camp. And I cannot... I cannot tell you how extremely frustrating it is when that happens. And you guys saw that in the intro too, that catfish. I'm just gonna stick around in the spawn, I'm gonna snipe you in the face, but in the end I'm not going to approve of his conduct, and I'm going to subsequently take his sandwich from him. So, okay, this is the way that I think about it. And yet again, I'm doing a similar thing, and this is what I do on basically the first two objectives, first three objectives. Donovan Peak, I get one more. TD Desperado, yet again. For some reason, I pictured that guy as some sort of southerner, like, I like my beer like I like my violence. Domestic. That's who I picture him as. And don't try to outdo me when I have a small. Just, that don't work, Ninja. That don't work. That ain't gonna work. Alright? That ain't gonna work. Just, and believe it or not, I direct impact people more than you might think with the RPG and the small, but they are fine and dandy, despite the fact that if you're using anything but an assault rifle, you're probably doing it wrong in Battlefield 3. And these helicopters are fairly pesky. I don't know why these people think that they're invincible in their helicopters, but the Humvees are definitely not what they were in Bad Company 2. In Bad Company 2, you know, paper mache, I accidentally trip over a small shrubbery, and all of a sudden my Humvee explodes. There's one, and yet again, this is a similar tactic to what I did in the last base. I'm severing their spawn. Now, you can probably call me a catfish for doing this, and this is real catfishery right now, but if it allows my teammates to get the objective, I'm really not... I have no qualms in doing it, and oh hi! Oh hi, Silent Otter! He just popped his head and just, what's going on over here, guys? And that's, I mean, I'm not even counting anymore. That's so many kills, just because I don't like the map design on Donovan Peak in terms of the defenders, because their spawn can so easily be taken advantage of. And I don't know if you guys are really mad about this. Hopefully you're not really mad, but at the same time, it's legitimate strategy. It's not like I'm sitting there shooting them as they spawn. It's more so I'm blocking them. Like, you're not even going to get close to the objectives because I'm going to sever the area where you spawn from the area where my teammates are. And it's simple enough. Now, the other team did get quite sad about this. I'm not going to lie. They were calling me quite the catfish, like this guy. Okay, no, there was a guy that was lingering around. But something that I want to identify in terms of what I was discussing earlier in terms of spawn camping. And that's not the spawn camping that I was just doing. It's more so the lingering. Let's call it spawn lingering, okay? And what I mean by that is being on the defending team, once the attacking team gets your base, you stick around and shoot people in the back. I don't like that very... This is a prime example of a spawn lingerer, okay? And although he gets killed, I like to think that on the first two objectives, you should be allowed to do it, because if you try to run away from the spawn as a spawn lingerer, you're probably going to get shot in the back. But, oh yeah, and I also said crime warplex because I guess the guy thought that I was hacking in the Humvee. I don't exactly know how he thought I was hacking, but for some reason he accused me of several different accusations. Now, I decided to take the Humvee off just for fun, and the other guy barely jumped out in time, just barely. But the way that I wanted to explain it to you is on the first two objectives of Donovan Peak, or in general, if you have the ability to make it out of the spawn safely, I would do it, okay? I would do it. But on Donovan, once your base is taken and you're a defender, you can easily jump down back to safety. So I think that's what you should be doing, instead of lingering around in the spawn and shooting people in the back, or surrounding the area where somebody might spawn in. I don't really like that. It's just, moral of the story, just is extremely annoying when somebody lingers in a spawn. It's just inconvenient, and you get shot from directions you're not expecting, and it's catfishery if you ask me. Now we got A armed, and I don't think that last, no, B is the tough one here. And I'm sort of out of resources here because obviously I got that Glock, ninja, because I go hard in the paint, right? And I'm part of the Brick Squad, if you will. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Brick Squad Academy of Global Research, but it's a long story, but I'll explain later. Now, this was a challenge for me. I actually totally forgot that I had single fire on my Glock, so I basically said, you know what, I'm going to pull off the amazing task, and I'm going to shoot someone with a Glock, the automatic Glock, the G18 rather, from a distance more than 10 feet away. And it is difficult. I can easily say that it is extremely difficult to kill someone with a Glock from beyond 10 feet. It's easy to say that. And conveniently, my screen went black. I don't know if I'm going to fix this or not, and I really have not decided whether I'm just going to keep rolling or not. But Yes, okay, we're finally back. I don't even know what happened, okay? I literally have no clue what happened. It's just like my chicken nuggets, so the past 10 seconds, I guess you probably saw me shoot the gentleman with the Glock from a few feet away, but it is difficult. And the M416, this is another point that I want to address. The assault rifles are... I like to think of it, if you're not using an assault rifle, you're probably doing it wrong. I'm a larger fan of the SMGs because I get a little bit more utility out of them, and there's more of a fun factor for me compared to the assault rifles yet again. But the M416, the AEK, the F2000, I hate to scream overpowered, and I'm not going to scream overpowered, but I think they are definitely the weapon, or the go-to weapons if you want to exceed in this game and you want to excel. Excuse me, you don't want to exceed. What do you exceed? If you want to excel and do well in the game. That's what I think. Just because... really, my A91, it's bad enough without a silencer. Get one more guy. Tiger 108. Just wonderful. But I get very, very bad damage over range, obviously, with a submachine gun. For example, the A91, the damage is bad enough without a suppressor. With a suppressor, it's even worse. I couldn't quite aim down sight, and the guy headshotted me. Very well. Well done, sir. That's admirable. Because sometimes I think I can just throw down an ammo pack and then wait for the guy, because I always think they're going to come really slowly, but sometimes they don't. Now, I was going to spawn in on this helicopter, but I don't really stay in it very long, because obviously only the main guy gets the gun. And those little birds, those are actually not as deadly as you think they are, because you can easily get shot out, and I'll explain later. But I made a bit of a mistake here. Okay, so I got this gentleman. I only get a hit marker with that, and I think to myself, I'm going to save the day. Look at all my dead teammates down there. Huh, no, no. Oh, dear. What happened? No. Sometimes I just feel like Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2, I miss your parachute so much. It was so great. It was so great when I had a parachute that just deployed really quickly instead of delayed. I don't like the parachute, moral of the story, but I'm not going to complain. This suicide was my own fault. Now, I don't like getting in helicopters, okay? Number one, because it's easy to shoot people out of helicopters, okay? Like, for example, let's say, theoretically, I had an AEK, and I'm just looking at a helicopter. It only takes a few shots to kill the guy. Like, look, just, boom, boom, boom. There we go. That's 26 shots, and he's already dead. Just straight out of a chopper. And the other thing I don't like about choppers is how superior people feel. Oh, I can float around yo spawn since I have flares. Look at me, I'm a little bird. Well, you know what? Here's what I think about your flares, Mr. Little Bird. You can't catch me on the gingerbread man. Boom! Just where's your chopper now, nickel pusher? I find it very funny when people think that they are very, very secure in helicopters, when in reality you really are never secure in a helicopter, because as soon as you get up, same thing with a jet, you hear that no, you just hear what is it, Igla and Stinger over and over. I almost said Sigla. No, that wouldn't make any sense. And that's one specific example. Oh, give me your sandwich. Oh, I guess that guy did not approve of his conduct, but he also saved my life, so I approve of his conduct. Now, you saw a second ago, I can get people from range with the A91 or A91 sometimes, but oftentimes I just finish them off with the small, because it's so convenient. And you guys even notice, I usually get lazy with the small. It's like I don't even have to aim down sight. I will hip fire a small, and I will still kill you. It's sort of that type of format. And you'll notice that quite a bit in my gameplay, and probably if you use the AN-91 or the G36, those are my two favorite submachine guns right now. You'll notice that you can get them done fully automatic from, or you can kill others fully automatic from quite a few different ranges, up to around 60 meters, I want to say. But beyond that, you're going to have to rely on a lot of headshots and a lot of bursting to really get it done. And we had 5 tickets left, so I said, you know what, why not arm? But this catfish, look at this. I'm going to go ahead and steal your arm, despite the fact you just jumped down from the roof, did some sort of Tom Cruise ninja move off the ladder, and dove towards the objective. I'm going to steal your plant. But I said, you know what, I'm going to be a good Samaritan, and since we have 0 tickets left, we have to defend it. So, might as well go ahead and defend it. And although I am going to get capped here in just a second here, because I go hard in the paint and I'm part of Brick Squad, it really does not matter to me whatsoever. Like, I just think to myself, if I'm going to die with 2 seconds left on an armed objective, and as you can see, the happy face describes my emotion at that specific point in time. It's like, I ain't even mad, bruh. I ain't even partially mad that you stole my plant, but at the same time, I think about stealing plants like stealing kills. In reality, it's like if the opposing player dies, who cares if he stole your kill? And stealing a kill is really not even a big deal. It's the same thing with a plant. Oh, you stole my plant. Well, as long as the actual objective got planted and destroyed, I really don't care who did it, right? And case in point, my screen went black again. Hopefully that guy killed me that was lurking in the shadows, but I'm going to have to pick this up one more time. Okay, so we're back. That guy obviously killed me as I thought, but Sony Vegas was just being such a Carl right now. Just, I'm going to show you a black screen sometimes. I don't like what it's doing. Sometimes it just does that, and that's also the explanation for the render problem a few videos ago. It's like, Badger, whoa, what's with this black screen? I don't want to see black screen, I want to see gameplay, right? Meow! And that makes sense to me. I don't know anyone who would be entertained by a black screen, but sometimes Sony Vegas just does not render things correctly and it looks weird. And, oh, another thing that I would like to mention, and I purposely made this video over 20 minutes so I could talk thoroughly, because I have a lot to talk about with Battlefield 3, obviously, because I also don't upload extremely frequently, and I'll have a week off for Thanksgiving starting this Friday, so I should be uploading more frequently, but I've just been busy. Like, I ain't got no time, ninja, if you know what I'm saying. Now, first thing I wanted to say in terms of, it's like a housekeeping issue. Housekeeping, not actual housekeeping, you know what I'm talking about. One more catfish trying to shoot an RPG at me, but I do apologize about the stream on Saturday. I know a lot of you commented on how laggy it was, and that's basically my internet connection. Sometimes the people at my university, they just, I'm gonna check Facebook for 8 straight hours on a Saturday night on my MacBook Pro, and it really doesn't help out my bitrate, and my streaming is a little laggy. I had to bump down the quality in order to make it not laggy, and I just said I'll shut it down. I'd rather give you guys a great quality stream than one that's sort of mediocre and doesn't look very good, so I'd rather just not stream at all and stream in low quality. Now, another thing is that, what else was I going to say? Oh yes, a lot of you said, do you regard this as a commentary or a video? Just to declare this for the rest of time, I don't really view what I produce as commentaries. I think I might put commentaries in the title, but I view don't run from me, bro. Stop playing around the bulldozer as well. But I view commentaries as something from commentators, as in like a Pistons game, right? Inside to Wallace. Wallace with the jam over Amari Stoudemire. Like that's what I picture commentary to be. I think I have a personality, but I don't think it's specifically commentary to answer your question. And one more thing is that I know a lot of you wanted to see, you basically say, why is everything that you show infantry? And I think it's mainly because a lot of you don't enjoy it when I just sit around and one more left down the corner, and oh, do you see what I just unlocked? That infrared, oh my goodness, that is good. I'm not going to scream overpowered or anything, because I think we still have to play around with everything to realize what is great, what is too great, what is overpowered, and what is not, but the ability to make everything green that you shouldn't shoot at and everything orange that you should shoot at is it seems a little unfair, but I don't always use it because sometimes it's a little bit awkward in close quarters to zoom down an infrared scope instead of the utility of just a small little red dot sight or like a Cobra sight. So I guess the infrared isn't perfect in close range, but for most ranges you can hip fire that you're not using the infrared. Now, okay, what I was going to say was a lot of you really preferred it in terms of Bad Company. I remember Bad Company 2. A lot of you didn't like it when I would just sit in a vehicle for a long period of time. But I can really make an entire video centered around a vehicle, or basically invested in vehicle gameplay instead of centered around infantry. I usually speed up a lot of the tank parts, a lot of the jet parts in most of my videos. So if you guys want to see a more vehicle-oriented or vehicle-centered video, I would be more than happy to do that. But if you'd like to see that, I would like a specific request, as in, I want to see damn big bird for tanks, ninja. I want to see you blow stuff up, or I want to see you chopper whore, or I want to see danger zone, like I'm a Maverick and Goose shooting down everybody in their jets. I can do that too. So if you would like vehicle-oriented gameplay, please give me specific feedback as to what you would like. But if not, I'd like to stick to the infantry, because you guys know that I'm moderately skilled at infantry. I'm not going to boast that I have really great skills in terms of infantry, but please make a specific request if you would like to see vehicle gameplay. Now, look at this. Like, it's fairly obvious that we're just pinned here. There's not a whole lot that we can do. The tank is there, and I'm basically saying he doesn't see us. Don't look at me! Like, don't look at me, tank. Look elsewhere. I don't exist. And he drives it. Don't look at the T-Rex. He's just like a T-Rex. But at this point, the hallway. Okay, so there's a hallway way over directly ahead of me. It's way over on the left side, actually, ahead of A, where most of my teammates are going to run through, and they're just going to get shot in the face. And approaching from over here, there's too many of the enemies emerging out of the back of the spawn for me to really get anywhere. So that's the end of the game. It seems like we took our time on the first objective. Actually, we got it fairly quickly, but in terms of that final objective, if your team does not use smoke, and we didn't use the tank, that was the other key. We did not use the tank. So really, on that last objective, if you don't use smoke and you don't use the tank, you're basically... you are toast, bro. Okay, you're toast. It's not gonna work out that way. And you know what? When things happen like this, where the game goes so well, and then near the end of the game, you start to sort of fall apart, and then you don't get the last objective, it's heartbreaking. Okay, it makes me want to say, Jesus, what the fuck happened? But overall, guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Your bonus clip is going to be me in a tank, just some tank gameplay, just to... that might spark your interest in more vehicle gameplay, but I would like feedback on that. Now, I will see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen und bis bald, and... later!